What's the most important meal of the day? We'll find out in this edition of WJTS in Form. I'm Bill Potter. Thanks for joining me. Well, we're going to talk with Jan Dougan. Jan is the Extension Educator with Purdue Extension of Du Bois County. And Jan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. It's great to be here again tonight.
Well, if somebody is watching, they obviously are seeing the boxes of cereal. So breakfast must be the most important meal of the day.
It is. Breakfast is very important, and breakfast is important for a number of reasons. When you think about it, you've been fasting all night long, and you need energy for the day. So eating breakfast gives you a jump start to the day. It actually turns your brain on, Bill, so you can think.
Well, you know, it's hard for me to go through a day if I haven't had breakfast. And I always have to have a big breakfast. Not a big breakfast, but a breakfast.
Well, and breakfast means different things to different people. So we want to talk a little bit today about what are some healthy choices for breakfast and maybe some ideas on how to pick out a healthy cereal for breakfast. Okay. So anybody watching tonight, if you want to grab your cereal box from your pantry, we're going to look at that nutrition label and you can help look at yours at home.
Well, and Jan, I told you that because of you, I actually do look at the labels now when I'm buying cereal. And unfortunately, Fruit Loops just doesn't cut it anymore. And I'm going not to like a Frosted Mini Wheats or something because of the fiber content.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because I do believe they have a whole wheat Fruit Loop now that just came out on the market. So it's something that people need to be aware of. You know, you visit the grocery store, you go down that cereal aisle, and it is packed with choices for people to make. And I think one of the biggest problems that people make when they go to select a cereal is they read what's on the front of the cereal box. So if you look at the front of this cereal box, and this isn't, I'm not necessarily promoting this type of cereal, I just grabbed some out of my pantry, some that we enjoy at our home. There's lots of different choices out there for people to choose from, but looking at the front of the cereal box does not tell us what we really need to know about the contents of the cereal box. So looking at this box, Bill, what do you think? Is this a healthy choice?
Well, I'm thinking that's a pretty healthy choice. It's got a fruit, it's got raisins.
Yes.
It is high in fiber and whole grain.
One of the things about any cereal that has raisins added to it, any dried fruit is a concentrated form of sugar. So if you're trying to watch your sugar intake, dried fruits will increase the sugar content of the cereal. Now, yeah, dried fruits are good to eat, but again, everything in moderation, everything in portion control. So that is going to increase the sugar content. But when you look at this, you kind of think, well, it says it's low fat right here. It's got raisins. You mentioned that was healthy. And when I think granola, I think grain. Do you think grain when you see granola?
I think of oatmeal.
Okay, so when we look at the side panel where the nutrition label is, and we read that more clearly, we're going to find out that this is probably a good choice, but maybe not an excellent choice of cereal. So let's take the people at home through this exercise, and we're going to get Bill to help us with this. Bill, you grab that cereal box there.
It's a box of Cheerios.
And I want you to look at the nutrition label. And you folks at home, get your box out, look at your nutrition label, and I want you to first look at the serving size on the nutrition label.
All right, it's 1 cup.
1 cup of cereal is a serving of the Cheerios. So we know that 1 cup is. Now if we pour our Cheerios into our bowl, there's a very good chance we're going to get more than a cup.
I'm always doing 2 cups or more.
So you might want to actually get a measuring cup out and measure it and see what that 1 cup of Cheerios looks like in your bowl so that you will know what a serving of Cheerios is. So how many calories in the Cheerios?
Calories are, I'm going to read this with a half cup of skim milk. Is that the one I should do? Because you got to eat cereal with milk.
Well, sure, go ahead.
Okay, it's 150.
So a half cup of skim milk really has about 80 calories.
Oh, okay.
So the Cheerios has less than 100 calories?
About 100.
Okay, about 100. So 100 to 200 calories is a really good choice for a cereal. All right, so you get a check plus there on the Cheerios.
But I have to double it because I would be doing 2 cups. So
yes,
it's really
you
200
would.
for me.
So for but between 100 and 200.
Okay, so I'm okay.
So for you,
right at the edge.
That's good, right? Ideally, if we could do under 120 calories, that's better. But you know, you're an active man. I don't visibly see that you have weight issues. So, you know, I think you're probably doing okay there. Protein, you want to check to see if the protein is how many grams of protein?
Protein, I can't find the protein.
It
I
might
see
be down
fat.
near the bottom.
Protein, 3 grams.
3 grams of protein. Well, another good choice because we want to have 2 or more grams of protein. So check at home, see if your cereal on the nutrition label has 2 or more grams of protein. Fiber, let's check the fiber.
Dietary fiber here is surprisingly low, I think, is 11%.
So that's the daily value that you read to me. How many grams of fiber?
How
Does
many
it
grams
say?
of fiber are 3 grams?
3 grams. So another okay choice. In our cereals, we want to try to pick a cereal that's more than 3 grams of fiber. It would even be better if it was 5 grams of fiber.
Well,
okay?
if I'm eating 2 cups of that, I am getting.
You are.
Okay, and would you then double the 11% to be 22%?
Yes,
Okay.
you would double the daily value if you had 2 servings. Okay. Yes, very good. You are really learning
See,
from
well, I
these
know I'm learning from you,
programs.
and so these labels make a difference to me now.
That is great. Let's check the sugar of the Cheerios.
Sugar, not much, 1 gram.
1 gram of sugar. That is excellent. But would you eat the Cheerios without adding sugar?
When I was a kid, I think I put as much sugar in the Cheerios as I did put Cheerios. But now I'm real conscious of that, so I don't put as much. But it's hard to eat that, to me, without a little sugar.
Right, right. And we can control the amount of sugar that we put on cereal. So if you have to add a little for sweetener, that's okay. It's even better maybe to add fruit to your cereal to sweeten it rather than sugar. So if your label at home has 8 grams or less of sugar, you've got a good cereal choice. Now what about the fat? Because there could be fat in this cereal.
Okay, the fat has always kind of confused me because the total fat is 2 grams.
And that's what we want to look at. We just want to look at the total fat.
We don't need to worry about the breakdown of
Not when we're looking at a good cereal
Okay,
choice.
okay.
Okay, so what is the total fat?
2 grams.
2 grams. So less than 3 grams is a good choice. Again, Cheerios, a good choice.
Okay.
And then when we look at the daily values for our key vitamins like iron or folate, B6, B12, any of those, we want to try to find a cereal that's between 10 and 25%. Again, look to the far right of your nutrition label, look at the percentage, and see what the percentage is. If it's between 10 and 25% when you're looking at your vitamins or your minerals, then it's a good choice. What about Cheerios?
Well, it has a lot of vitamins, and all of them are above 10%.
Great.
There's probably 10 to 15.
Great, great. So again, Cheerios is a good choice. Now what I'd like for you to do, oh, you're not done, Bill.
Okay, now
Compare these 2 labels,
All right,
the Cheerios and I believe your favorite,
I think I'm starting to break the rules a little bit in that the calories is almost double. The fat is actually less in mini wheats. The protein is almost double, so I'm getting a little more protein than I need. The vitamins, they're about the same when that breaks down. And sugars, where there was 1 gram of sugar in Cheerios, there is 11 grams of sugar in Frosted Mini Wheats.
Right.
But I really like Frosted Mini Wheats.
And
but is it okay maybe to one day this, one day this?
I think that's great. I think that really, really sugar was the only thing that was really higher in mini wheats, that's an okay choice for you. And one of the things we want to point out to folks, and to especially folks listening, viewing in today, you want to be sure to have you and your children drink the milk that you have left in your bowl after eating your cereal. Because a lot of the vitamins and minerals are water soluble, and there's water in milk. So even though they put the vitamins or incorporate the vitamins into the cereal, when we pour the milk on top, it goes into the milk. So to get all the benefit of the cereal and the vitamins and minerals in the cereal, you need to drink that milk out of your bowl.
I'm doing that. So I'm
Great.
And also the dietary fiber in this is almost double what Cheerios is.
Right.
So I guess maybe it depends on what you're looking for on certain.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what it's all about, because everybody has different needs, everybody has different likes, so we want to understand how to use those labels to get what we want from the foods that we eat.
It's not that this is a worse cereal than this.
No.
This probably is better for me because I'm trying to pick up my dietary fiber, and I am pretty active in that I need a lot of protein, and I go through sugar pretty quick. So this is a good choice for me. Cheerios is also a good choice, but this for me will work because I also like it.
And I bet if you go to the store now and you compare some of the labels on some of the other cereals, that you'll find there's probably a lot of other really good choices out there. The one other thing we want to be sure that people at home understand and know is that when you look at the front of this box, you can't really tell if you're getting a whole grain cereal or not. You really need to read the ingredient list, and the ingredient list should say whole grain wheat or whole grain corn or whole grain oats.
This is oats.
Right, to be a whole grain product. So half your plate, put those whole grains in. You can start the day off with breakfast with a great whole grain choice.
And breakfast gets your brain going in the morning.
That's right.
And don't they do studies that show that kids that eat breakfast do much better in school than those who do not?
The research has shown that those kids that eat breakfast do better in school. You're right.
For breakfast, what if I just grab a granola bar, which for me is not enough, but what if somebody says, oh, I eat a granola bar every morning for breakfast?
Well, again, we need to look at the nutritional labels. We need to look at what granola bar we are grabbing, because some of them are better choices than others. You know, it's always good to pick up a piece of fruit. Fruit's the original first fast food, so, you know, grab fruit and eat it on the way too. Dried fruit is an okay choice, knowing the portions of dried fruit. You know, because we can eat less dried fruit because the water's been taken out of it and it's a concentrated sugar, so it's okay to eat. We just want to eat less. So, you know, a great on-the-go snack for breakfast would be take your favorite cereal, like maybe the Cheerios or the mini wheats, add some dried fruit, add some nuts, and you've got a you know, on-the-go snack ready to go.
And a glass of orange juice or grapefruit juice or some juice.
So, fruit juice would be fine to have. Milk with that would be great to have.
Just make sure you eat a breakfast.
Breakfast is important.
Jan, thank you very much for coming in and speaking with us again. I hope you learned something, and if you didn't this morning, I hope that you eat breakfast tomorrow morning and every morning from here on out. Our guest has been Jan Dougan. She is the Extension Educator with Purdue University, the Extension Service here in DuBois County. I'm Bill Potter, thanking you for watching WJTS in.form. We are local people watching local people.